Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I am Abe with MysticGenMara.com, and I am going to do your elemental tarot card reading for the month of March 2022, and I'm going to go week by week. So it'll be for March, it'll be 5 weeks, and my weeks run Sunday to Saturday. So it might be a little bit of a fluctuation depending, but that's how I run them. How I will be reading is there will be a guide for each week, there will be a message from source for each week, and then there will be a challenge for each week. So each week we'll get 3 cards so that you can know what's working with you, what source is trying to tell you, and then what things you may need to learn or work on. The link for any of the card decks I'm using will be in the description below, unless they're discontinued, in which case I will mark them discontinued. So on that note, and I draw my cards live, or for the video, so nothing is pre-drawn. And so we'll start with the first week of March 2022 for fire. First week of March 2022 for fire, and we are pulling our guide card. And the first week of March for the message from source. First week of March 2021, guide card for fire. And the challenge or lesson for fire for March 2022. If I said 2021, I am sorry, it's 2022. So for the first week of March, set the cards over here. Your guide for the week is the Air Dragon. So this is for the first week of March for fire. Helps you rise above earthly matters, communicate honestly, brings inspiration and hope, sees life from a higher perspective. So for the first week of March, the Air Dragon can bring intellectual studies. It'll help get you into your head, help you expand what you're thinking about and what you're working on. So if you have something that you're working on that's new, tapping into that guide of the Air Dragon would be a great thing to do the first part of the week of March. The message from source is good fortune. So what this is saying is, source wants to let you know that things are moving in your pathway for fire. They're lining up, and it's a time of good luck and good fortune if you put the time and effort into working. Everything can be paved out and smoothed, but it's not going to be handed to you on a silver platter. There is things you need to do to work with that. So, and the challenge is going to be the stars. And what that's saying is that you're coming to a point where you have learned a great deal, things are starting to line up, and you're moving forward very successfully in the path that you're on. But what they're saying with this one is, just because the stars are aligned in your favor doesn't mean you get to be arrogant or egotistical. The challenge, or the message, the working message, is to check yourself and not to move too far forward into that higher energy of the ego, and stay balanced and grounded, but allow yourself to be seen and spread out through the stars. So we'll work on the second week of March for fire. The second week of March for fire guide. And the second week of March message from source. Second week of March, and the second week of March for the challenge. These are general for fire signs, which are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, although if you have a rising sign or an ascendant that falls in line with this element, you can use this as an enhancement to your zodiac as well. So your guide for the second week is the Archangel Gabriel Dragon. It's bringing purification. Self-discipline will speed ascension and bring joy. You can carry Archangel Gabriel's diamond with you. So for the second week, your guide will be the Archangel Gabriel Dragon. What that means is Archangel Gabriel works with Western energy, more water energy, but works very well with helping you understand your emotional states. And the diamond concept is allowing you to see crystal clearly and solidify your emotions into the best and highest form for you. So that second week of March is a good time to tap into that energy to help look at how your emotions are affecting you and how you can align into a better position. Maybe get a little bit more control over the ones that are a little out of control, and just help stabilize and balance and allow you to see clearly what your emotions are, so you can call upon the Archangel Gabriel dragon for that. Now, the message from Source is face your fears. And so that can go along with your guide for this week, which is helping you understand your emotions. So when your emotions are flaring up, your fear rises with them. Whether it's a conscious fear or subconscious fear, it's that anxiety, the depression, there's always that fear/worry. So what the message is from Source is tap into Source energy, pray, meditate, and work with the Archangel Gabriel dragon and with Archangel Gabriel herself to help allay your fears, help to figure out what's causing them. Fear comes from usually from a spot of trauma. So find a way to work through that, examine it, and understand it better. So your challenge for the week is going to be the Two of Pentacles. Oops. And I read intuitively, so it may not be the meaning that's associated with the card normally. The Two of Pentacles is an earth sign. So you're working with your hearth and your home, and it's a period of you're kind of feeling lazy, you just don't really want to. But what they're saying is, for this week, your challenge is to stay motivated and to break through some of these barriers that are triggering that lazy period that I don't know if I want to, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. The second week of March is a time for you to really start to push yourself and get that motivation going. You've got things going on. It's a new project or it's a continuing project you want to take to a new level. This is the time to really put the effort forward, even though it's going to feel like you just don't want to and your emotions are kind of weighing you down. The second week of March is a good time to really work through those emotions and use that Archangel Gabriel dragon as part of that. So for the third week of March, let's draw a guide card here for the third week of March for fire signs. Oops. So third week of March, fire sign. And third week of March, fire sign message from Source. Third week of March, message from Source. And the challenge for that week, third week of March 2022, fire sign, challenge, or things to work on. Okay, so your guide for the third week is the Alpha Dragon. Harness the divine masculine power of creation. So, going along with the Alpha Dragon energy, you're working with this compelling and commanding presence. You're wanting to step into the full of your power. And this dragon, the Alpha Dragon, looks a little intimidating. It's a little dark, but it's very masculine and very domineering in its strength. And that is a way to help you step into the fullness of your power, to not drag your feet and just feel kind of small or like you don't have any power. This dragon is saying, step forward, I've got your back, let's do this. So for the third week of March, that's where you're at, is you're getting ready to step into the fullness of who you are. You're tapping into that higher energy, and you are starting to understand more of your position in your world. So the message from Source is illusion. And what that is saying is it is time to break your illusions. You look at life through this lens of a film. Everything is filtered through your experiences. And what the message from Source for the third week of March is, it is time to step out of that bubble. It is time to break that very delicate bubble of your illusions and see things as they really are. You have the Alpha Dragon energy that's helping you stand in your truth and stand in your power. And with the illusion card, it's helping you see through those illusions. Sometimes they're self-imposed, sometimes they're something that someone else has brought to you or applied to you. And what it's saying, fire signs, is that enough is enough. No more illusions. Step forward. You can do better and you can see clearly, and now is your time to do that. So your challenge for this week, or lesson you need to work on, is the wheel. And what that works out to being, very simply put, is with the wheel, it is a cycle of energy. Everything cycles, everything goes up, everything goes down. You're moving into a higher state, and it's time to start stepping into that. So using the Alpha Dragon as a guide and a way to help you boost yourself, you're moving into a different cycle. You're on an upswing. And so what the challenge is to embrace the hurt, embrace that shift. And by hurt, I don't mean like pain as it's that growing pains thing. So you're shifting into that energy, and it's something that you're going to have to pay attention to very closely so that you don't trip and fall. And even if you do trip, that's how you learn. So that's for the 3rd week. Now, the 4th week fire message for March. Draw your guide card here. And the message for your 2nd week, or 3rd, where am I at? 4th week. Yeah, 4. The message for the 4th week. I have a small desk space that I'm working on, so I get a little distracted by where I have everything placed. Sorry. But working on improving that. And the challenge for the 4th week. That card jumped right up, so that should be interesting. Your guide for the 4th week of March is the Golden Christed Dragon. Bring your higher love so that you can embody the Christ light. So that dragon basically is getting the handoff from the Alpha Dragon of the 3rd week, in that this is bringing you into a higher state, a higher frequency. And when you're talking with the golden energy, you're tapping in again to that masculine energy, but it is in a pure, loving environment, but it's also very healing. So tapping into that dragon for the 4th week of the month is a way to help heal some of those wounds that may have popped up when you were breaking those illusions and working through the process of coming into yourself with the wheel. That dragon can help guide you through this coming week without as much drama, hopefully. So the message from Source is competition, summoning courage and self-confidence. And so with that, you're using that golden dragon energy to build the competition, not so much with the outside world, but it's within yourself. How can I be better? What can I do to improve what I did yesterday or last week? And so each day of the 4th week of March, you want to work into that position of how can I be more healthy competition with myself? And if you have coworkers that you're looking at, being like, how can I challenge myself to improve, which will also challenge them to improve, so that we are in a constant state of dynamic growth with each other and within our world. So it's not so much a negative competition, it's a way of building yourself up by using other people, steel sharpens steel type of a concept. Your challenge for this 4th week of March is going to be the Tower. So what this means is that something has to come to an end. There is a period of deconstruction that is going to occur, and it may occur a little bit more dramatically than it normally would. So your challenge this week is to be ready for that shift, to be open to something in your life, maybe leaving, maybe a pattern that needs to be broke, a habit that needs to end, and be willing to work with that energy to clear it out. You have the golden dragon that's there to help you heal and help you grow and get stronger. And so if you have the Tower moment, the dragon can help you move through that in a more smooth way and maybe heal some of those other injuries that may be popping up emotionally. It could be something minor like something happens with your vehicle or your home, and those are major, but this is just that time of things are changing, but something has to be destroyed so that something new can come into your life. So basically be willing to let go things that are not helping you during that week. Now for the 5th week of March, fire signs, we're drawing our last guide card for the month of March, our last message from Source for the 5th week of March, and our 5th challenge or lesson for the 5th week of March. So for the last week of March, the 5th week, Your dragon is the fire and water dragon, enabling your life to flow with loving force. So you have opposites working with each other in this dragon. You've got fire, very passionate, your sign, but you also have water, which is your polar opposite. But when they're brought together in a balance, it is the message of this dragon. What it's saying is to be ready for everything to start moving rapidly. When you bring things into balance, life opens up. So when you balance your fire and water energy using the fire and water dragons, you're starting to set yourself up for success. You're setting yourself up for moving forward. You're transmuting the lower energies into a higher frequency, which allows you to develop more fully into who you really are. So that's your guide for the last week of March. Your message from Source for the last week of March is actually you're getting a messenger angel. It's Archangel Raphael. It's the provider of healer for mind, body, and spirit, and associated with the element of air. With that card, what is coming through is Archangel Raphael is there to help you understand where you're at in your life, help you move into that higher frequency of your existence, but it's also helping you stabilize the fire and water. Air works with fire, air works with water, so that it can bring a harmonious balance. And so using Archangel Raphael to maybe heal some emotional strife, if there's a conflict at work, if you know you're going to be in that situation ahead of time, sometimes you can just tell when you walk in there's something not right. Just a quick little prayer. Dear Source, send me Archangel Raphael. I'm going to need some help here. And overall, your body, mind, and spirit can come into an alignment working with Archangel Raphael, and it allows you to heal and move into a more purified state. We're always in a state of healing. We're always in a state of balancing. So when I'm using those terms, it's not a perfected state by any stretch, but it's moving you closer to where you want to be. So your challenge for the last week of March is the Queen of Swords. And this is, you fought your battles, but you're not quite out of the war yet. There's still some things that you need to work on. There's still some things that have to come up so that they can be cleared out. So what they're saying at this last week of the month, your challenge, is take your time to recover and to refresh, but don't put down your sword yet. There's things that you still have to accomplish. There's things that you're working on. And the best thing you can do at this point is to just take a breather, let yourself settle, and take that time for your soul and mind to heal. Or if it's your body, like you've been pushing really hard and you need a break, allow yourself that time of dynamic rest, but be ready because the next steps are coming and they're coming quick. So with that, I really hope that this resonates for you, fire signs, and I will talk to you guys again at a later date.